What's up, everybody? It's Max from The Pursuit of Purpose, and today I'm here with a very special guest. This is my good friend Connie Chan. She has a kick-ass blog, and you can go check it out at www.facebook.com/conpoint. And today we're gonna talk about
our advice to the new grads of 2017. Stay tuned.
That could be it. That could be it.
Can we do it?
I think that's it.
All right.
If not, we'll piece it together. Welcome, class of 2017. Thanks for joining, and today we are going to give you 3 pieces of advice on how to enter the real world. Number 1, be open-minded. So let's be Max about this. This is a really scary time in your life, but it is also really exciting. You have an opportunity right now in your life to explore so many different avenues, so many different paths, and kind of everything you do is up to you right now. This is an opportunity that literally comes once in a lifetime. And what I mean by that is that you can go work, a job that you find curious, or you can go work in an industry that you find exciting, or you can go, try to start your own business. This is an opportunity where you can, go make mistakes and fail, and you can always fall back on the excuse of, hey, I'm a recent grad, I'm just trying to figure it out. You won't have this opportunity in 5 or 10 years because you may have a family, you may have a house that you have to pay for, on a regular basis. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, and it's a short period after graduation. After you make a decision on what path or what road that you want to take right after school, you have to have the expectation that your first job out of school is most likely going to be shit. That you're going to be working in a position that you feel that is irrelevant to where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. And you're going to be doing things that you don't want to do, or you feel that is not in line with your skill set. And you're probably going to expect to make a whole lot more money than what you feel like you should be making.
And definitely going off of that, I think one of the hardest things for new grads is it's 4 years of what you're used to, and your first entry-level job may have nothing to do with what you majored in, and that's completely fine. I think one of the biggest disconnects is what you're doing in the short term has nothing to do, completely irrelevant from where you want to be in that long term. So I think one of the biggest things to keep in mind is your sense of purpose. Where you want to be 10 years down the line doesn't necessarily have to reflect or even look like the job that you have today. It's really a matter of gaining experience, getting your feet wet in something you may not be passionate about. As I'm sure Max can say too, this really is something that you discover. Passion isn't something that you wake up the next day and realize, this is what I was meant to do for the rest of my life. Oftentimes, in being open-minded, trying new experiences, you discover that you actually like something you never even thought of, something that was never on your radar. So the more open-minded you can be to really saying yes to new experiences. I really think of passion almost being like a muscle. It's something that's flexed. Oftentimes, even when you're doing it, you don't realize that that's your passion until a few days later you wake up and something's sore and you're like, hey, I actually kind of like that. So I think super important, even if it's completely different from what you've used to, what you've tried before, just being open-minded to new experiences and taking it for what it is.
And I, going off with what Connie just said, I know specifically how this whole channel of The Pursuit of Purpose got started was, I kind of found this passion in when I was coaching hockey, that I got great satisfaction and fulfillment of, helping kids make it to the next level within hockey. And I think that kind of purpose that I found was molded through coaching. So what you're doing right now may not, look like what you want to do in 10 years, but understand that that's kind of your role right now is helping you kind of transition into what you want to do later on?
Like what Max said with hockey, discovering that he really liked to help people was something unexpected and along the way. I like to compare it to dating people. It may not work out, it may not be what you're looking for, but you start to pick out bits and pieces of what you do enjoy. So kind of thinking about segmenting what the short term is, what you're doing today, and where you actually want to be in that long term. The caterpillar can look nothing like the butterfly, but all these random experiences that you're gaining ultimately are going to get you to where you want to be.
Your first job out of school can give you a really good opportunity to build a strong work ethic. In most cases, you're going to be doing something that you don't find interesting and you don't have much passion for. But if you can create a strong work ethic within that role, imagine what you can do in a position that you do find interesting within an organization that truly does support you. So my first job out of school, I didn't find much passion and I didn't find a purpose in it. I wasn't interested in it. I wasn't fulfilled or satisfied in terms of the work that I was doing. The only thing at the end of the week that made me feel somewhat satisfied of my work week was knowing that I did put in a lot of work and I gave everything I had. And that ethic that I kind of built throughout that first job out of school has followed me, all the way throughout my career until this point.
And I completely agree with that. I think who you are in a shit job is exactly who you're going to be when that dream job comes up. So really thinking about all the different environments that you're going to be working with, you're interacting with different people, you're going to have to be very adaptable. So I would say one of the main things I learned in really the beginning stages of every job, I was very head down, focused on the work, and I really wasn't a sociable or approachable person. So thinking about how I was perceived by my coworkers, colleagues, I really had to change that in order to be successful. Even though I had an idea of who I was coming off to be, it was different from what other people saw. So really thinking about just business communication, how people perceive you, how their communication style is, and fixing what you're doing, how you're coming off to be a good fit for that. For example, one of the things that a lot of new grads are going to be running into, if they haven't before, is really receiving a lot of criticism. And I think we had talked about that before, really not taking it personally and adjusting what you're doing to be on the same level as them. There's someone who's super talkative, really likes to engage in small talk by the water cooler, really fitting their style. Someone's direct, really reciprocating that and being direct with your feedback and your interactions and being really concise. I think going off of that, thinking beyond the job and the job description as a technical fit, you want to be someone who fits into the company culture. And this is one of the key things that a lot of new grads will overlook. You think if you can do the job well, that's your golden key to promotion or doing well at the company. But really, you want to make people like you. Ultimately, what people perceive as the person that you are in the office, that's the person they're going to continue to hopefully want to work with. So every environment that you're in, there's going to be a set culture, a set number of values that people who are able to make it there abide by. So people kind of call it sipping the company Kool-Aid. I say chug that shit because they know what it takes to be successful there. And even if it's not your personality, I almost think of it as a professional persona you're taking on to do well. I know the people who are going out on Saturday night. The Max I know on the weekends is not the same Max that would be in the office. And I think that's perfectly fine. We're all dynamic people. And when you're in a place where you want to do well, you have to fit that mold. Unless you're going to really be a business owner, entrepreneur on the side. When you sign up to be employed by some place, you have to figure out what works, what clicks in that place of employment. So just from being sociable, really understanding how people communicate and changing your dynamic to really be a good fit for that.
Absolutely, and I think learning how to kind of adjust your personality or maybe adjust your habits within that workplace, can make you more successful, even if you may not be as technically skilled as other colleagues that you may have. But if you do kind of outshine those other people in terms of a personality or fitting the company mold, that does make up for a lot at the end of the day. And I think one of the most important foundational skills that you can learn in your first job is resiliency. You're going to work something that you hate. It doesn't give you a hall pass to quit. Just because you don't like it, it doesn't give you that ability to just go quit, because if you don't build resiliency, what's going to happen with your life is that you're going to go to a job, you're going to hate it, and you're not going to, learn how to fight through adversity if you don't like it, and you're going to quit and you're going to go to another job. And that cycle is going to happen over and over and over again. And in 10, 15 years, you're going to look back and you're going to have 10 to 15 jobs and you're going to quit all of them. So I think your first job out of school is going to give you such a good opportunity to kind of build that resiliency muscle and learn how to face adversity and learn how to, deal with shit that's not easy and deal with shit that's tough. I know specifically when I started a new job about 2 years ago, I struggled a lot with it, but I told myself that I was going to work through it because I instilled a strong work ethic in previous roles. And I told myself, if I quit on this, I'm just going to go to another job and struggle and quit and then move to another job. And I was going to get caught in this vicious cycle that was going to go on for years. So I think by learning to build that resiliency, really helps out in the long run, and learning how to deal with adversity, you can apply that to legitimately everything in life. I mean, family, financial aspect of your life, your fitness, your health, it can apply to anything. I think that is one of the most important skills that you can build, but it is also one that's very hard to kind of grow, because that comes down to just you looking at yourself in the mirror and not quitting when shit gets hard.
That's so true, and I completely agree with that. Just thinking about the type of job that you have, not liking it or it not being your passion is not a reason to suck at it. Because at the end of the day, if you suck at your job, that's not a reflection of the job, that's a reflection of you. Unless you want to be a shitty person, you should be grinding at it, busting your ass to do as well as you can. Even if it's a skill set you didn't set out to have, there's no point in really wasting that time. If you're going to be doing it, you might as well do it well. So even in your job, if you're asked to do things and really develop skill sets that you didn't anticipate gaining, it's really in your benefit to just do well, gain that experience, because when you look back on your resume, it's better to have a year where you're getting promoted, even if it's not something that you want to do, as opposed to just wasting that entire year. Even if it's something that you would consider bitch work or not relevant to where you want to be in the long term, there's really no excuse to not get good at something. You never know if you could really enjoy it once you've mastered that. And I would say one of the main things that we hear a lot, especially people just entering the job force, is they'll get into a job, it's not exactly what they're looking for, and their boss will ask them to do something. And what they'll respond with, maybe not directly to the boss, is, "It's not my job. That's not in my job description. It's not what I was hired to do." And honestly, this is one of the most toxic things and one of the best ways to get on somebody's bad side. Someone who it feels very entitled, dismissive of what they're asked to do, and can't really step back to see the big picture. For example, just from personal experience, I graduated from a 4-year college, tuition total to be about $200,000. My first job out of college was in retail management. And one of my responsibilities was just ensuring that the store floor was clean. Sometimes that meant an associate would have to clean it. Other times I would put on the backpack vacuum and do it myself. You could say that this was something that was below my pay grade, something that wasn't my job. But stepping back to the big picture, I'm the manager of this store. It is my job that this place looks good. So really not having an attitude of something is beneath me, I shouldn't have to do this, but really seeing it as an opportunity. You'll see the most successful people are those who are willing to take jobs that are both above their pay grade, things that could be considered below them, and really taking it in stride. These are all the experiences that are going to help you get to that next level, especially in the eyes of someone who's managing you, someone who's down for the challenge regardless of what is asked for them and really has their eye on the prize. That's the person who's going to succeed.
Absolutely, and I think Connie makes a great point there. I think one of the highest compliments that you can get, within your organization is that if somebody needs something done, I can count on you, or I can count on that person. And that is a person who never complains about any type of work. If somebody comes over and says, "Hey, I know this isn't in your job title, but can you do this for me?" And you say, "Yeah, no problem." That's always such a high level compliment when somebody says, hey, I can go to Max and he'll get it done. No matter what it is that I ask him, he can get it done. So I think that's something that you can learn and apply to, different roles, throughout your career. Number 3, when preparation meets opportunity. So in most cases, you're going to be working a job that you don't like, that you don't find interesting, and you find no passion or purpose. And you might look at it as, as something that is very insignificant in the long run. But that's completely false at the end of the day. You need to treat your first job out of school as a learning experience, and you need to gain skills. And some of those skills can be, learning how to be resilient, learning how to adapt to different types of personalities, and learning how to take on tasks that maybe not be in your job description. And if you can build those skills and grow as a person and continue to kind of move forward, you're actually pre-paving the road of where you want to go. And what I mean by that is when you're building these skills, right, you're pre-paving this road for where you want to be, whether it's in a year, 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years. These skills are going to help you. You might not see that right now, but if you actually take this job, not with a grain of salt, and really focus on it and try to learn something from it, you're pre-paving this road that's pointed straight to an opportunity. And when you're on the computer and you see maybe a new job application pop up on LinkedIn, or somebody puts up on Facebook saying, hey, we're looking for somebody to work in our company, that's an opportunity that you pre-paved your road to, because you worked on being resilient. It created a strong work ethic that all of these foundational skills are going to help you when that opportunity comes. And I think one of a fantastic quote that I've heard and I've applied to my life over the years is, success is when preparation meets opportunity. So don't look at this job as, an insignificant stepping stone in your career. It's actually such a very, very big, opportunity for you to grow these skills and pre-pave, where you want to go in the next 5 or 10 years.
So success really is opportunity meets preparation. You can't really control when the next dream job is going to come up. So all you can do is be prepared for when that time does come. This means in whatever job you're working now, still keeping your resume updated, going out into the field, making connections, going to networking events. So when you do see that opportunity that you're super excited about, you can jump on it right away. I always like to think I'm never working like my current boss is watching. I'm working like my future boss is watching, because ultimately that's what's going to happen. Everything that you're doing now in the day-to-day is exactly what's going to go on your resume. So when there's a super exciting opportunity that comes up, you're going to wish you worked a lot harder the past 2 years. So start on that now. Do that today. So hopefully these 3 pieces of advice are helpful for any new grads or anyone who just really feels lost about navigating the real world. Max has said it time and time again that success takes many forms. You can go left, right, forward, backward, 3 steps. We can definitely relate that it's a really scary time.
That's for sure.
We're there, we've been there, we're there now, and the horizon isn't always clear cut. It's not a straight path to your purpose or your final destination. So all I can say is it's fine. If you're the type of person who you don't know what you want to be, you don't know where you're going to be in 5 years, let alone in a year, that's perfectly okay. If you're the type of person who has a set goal, you know exactly where you want to be in 10 years, but what you're doing now doesn't quite look like that, that's fine too. As long as you're grinding, really moving and not being static, reflecting, developing yourself, you're exactly where you need to be.